and welcome to Tech Latest from Nikkei Asia, where we bring you the freshest updates from the technology sector in Asia. I'm your host, Katey Creel in Tokyo, and in this week's episode, we're joined by Kim Jaewon in Seoul to talk about AI and how it's changing the legal profession in South Korea. Welcome to the show, Jaewon.
Thank you for having me.
It's always a pleasure. So before we dive into this week's topic, on the tech part at least, perhaps you could start off by telling us a little bit about South Korea's legal profession and what makes it different from a lot of other countries in the region, and especially how it's changed recently.
Yes, South Korea's legal profession had been dominated by a small number of lawyers who passed a very competitive bar exam. There was no requirement for applying for the test, but only a few hundreds of people could make it per year.
Oh, so it was like an open entry. Anyone who felt they'd studied enough on their own could just sign up for the exam?
Yes, right. So even high school graduates could apply for it.
Oh,
but,
wow.
But it does not mean they can pass the test.
Right. It was that competitive. Yeah.
Right. So the government adopted the U.S.-style law school system 16 years ago to resolve this problem. However, the legal service market is still polarized by old lawyers who enjoy stable and prestigious status at big law firms and young attorneys struggling to find their clients.
That makes a lot of sense. I imagine the first generation or the first couple years of these younger lawyers who took the new path had a very different experience than their predecessors and the older lawyers who felt maybe they had gone through the hard route and really deserved to be lawyers, and who were the young kids going to law school.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Considering South Korea is also such a tech-forward economy, I mean, it's known for Samsung and SK Hynix now and a lot of the tech hardware, and actually a lot of the startups as well. It shouldn't be too surprising that startups are also turning to AI to solve some of the kind of issues in the legal profession. There's still not so many lawyers available. The price of services is, I imagine, fairly high, and finding the right lawyer for you could be an issue. So could you tell us about some of those companies and what they're offering?
Yes. The most prominent one is Law & Company, which offers a wide range of legal tech services. The company started offering Law Talk. It's a mobile platform matching lawyers and their clients.
That sounds handy.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it is. You can just open your app and you can find out a lot of lawyers.
Because I imagine if you need a lawyer, it might be your first time or it's something that you never really had to think about before, and suddenly in a stressful situation, you have to find a lawyer.
Right. Actually, even you don't need an office. You can just introduce yourself in the platform. So it was very easy one.
Good for the lawyers as well as clients.
Right. Both sides were happy. So it was welcomed by clients, especially as they could check lawyers' records in previous cases, their academic background, and other information. So as the service gained popularity, the company launches a new service, this time an AI-based research tool named Super Lawyer, which analyzes cases and legal theories for lawyers.
Oh, that sounds like it'd be saving a lot of kind of grunt work.
Yes, right.
For better and for worse, maybe, yeah.
Yeah. And then it's not that expensive. They charge about just $100 per month. So
wow.
Yeah, it's compared to their fees. It's not
that's pennies.
Big money, I think. And then actually, there's a law firm called DR and Aju. It's a law firm, but they also launched a legal tech service offering consulting chatbot services to potential clients based on Korean tech giant Naver's large language model.
Oh, interesting. So a law firm is kind of taking the initiative to not be disrupted by tech, but to use tech itself.
Right.
So this all sounds like a win-win, especially for young lawyers and clients looking for them. But in your feature that we recently published, you also point out that not everyone in Korea is happy about this trend. How are the old school lawyers and other professional associations reacting?
Yes, right. Especially the Korean Bar Association is big association. It strongly opposes the client matching law talk service.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I talked with some guy in the association, and then they say that the company is confusing clients by dressing itself up as lawyers. So they basically accuse the service as just deceiving. I mean,
Right.
quotation, deceiving people. But company says it is not offering legal services, but simply helping lawyers and clients connect.
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised at the pushback because from the outside looking in, it seems like a very clearly just you said a matching type service. But I guess these more established lawyers feel that's too much of infringement on their, I guess, the way they've been doing business for so long and relying on their reputations.
Right. Good point. So I think they are basically, they didn't say like that, but I think they're basically worried, that the kind of tech service are stealing their jobs. So there's conflict in this case. But anyway, the associate says is protecting lawyers' exclusive right to practice law. But the organization fails to gain support, even from its own members. I talked with a lawyer, and he said that the KBA takes a very outdated approach to legal tech.
That's really interesting. I guess it depends on how you look at the idea of practicing law. Does that include the kind of steps of finding clients and reaching out to them in the first place? And I can see from maybe the KBA's point of view, that's still covered by practicing law. So it's a thorny question.
I think so. Yeah.
So apart from the lawyers and their clients, how is the Korean court system itself approaching AI? Are they embracing it as much? Are they being more cautious?
Well, actually, the court is more cautious to use AI in its works because, AI sometimes makes errors with hallucination. Sometimes they suggest some biased opinions. So basically, they are cautious. But what is interesting is that clients are adopting AI very quickly. A lawyer told me that a lot of his clients already have asked a question to ChatGPT on their cases before seeing lawyers.
You know what this reminds me of? It's when someone has a cough and they go online and search for their symptoms.
Right.
But I guess this is even more because AI in the courts, it can allow you to maybe, I don't know if you can try and file your own case with AI. Would that be going too far?
Yes, right. So some of them even file their cases by themselves with AI's help. And then, that raises a lot of burden for the court. So many people can do, file the cases. So,
so the workload goes way up.
Exactly. So, but they don't use AI. So it's double, kind of
they can't fight fire with fire.
Right. Yeah. That's interesting. But anyway, fortunately, the court started studying how to use AI. Interesting is it was initiated by Lee Soo-kyun. She is a female justice, and she has an engineering background. Ooh. So she launched a research team, and then they are doing research how to embrace this technology in the court system and their work. So we will see how they're gonna adopt this technology.
Yeah, that's really interesting. There's so many issues that they would have to work through, just not only logistically, but I mean, legally and ethically. It's a whole new territory.
Exactly.
Thanks so much, Jaewon. That was a really great conversation, and I'm learning a lot about South Korean legal systems. So thanks for joining us.
Thank you. I enjoyed it a lot. Yeah.
Looking forward to having you on again. That's all for this week's episode. For more of Nikkei Asia's tech coverage, visit asia.nikkei.com. You can also subscribe to our weekly Tech Asia newsletter, which will be delivered to your inbox every Thursday. Thanks again for listening, and check back with us next week for more updates on the tech trends that matter.